Hey everybody, it's Alex from Motoroso.com, your dedicated auto parts marketplace. Today we're in the studio and we're going to install a set of Westin sidebars on this 2018 Toyota Tacoma SR quad cab. This is a 2018 Toyota Tacoma SR. And what you might see is a base truck with no frills and a little bit bland looking. What we see is the perfect canvas for building the truck that you want with all the custom modifications you can think of. Luckily, our friend Mandy sees it exactly the same way. She opted to get the truck with the V6, the more powerful motor, and 4x4, so she has the base platform for building the truck of her dreams. And she's got a bunch of mods planned. She's gonna do wheels and tires, leveling kit, air intake, but today we're installing her first mod, the ProTraXX 4-inch oval sidebars by Westin, and that's model number 21-22770 in case you're curious. And of course, she bought that at Motoroso.com/shop, where she got it for a great price, under $350 with free shipping delivered right to her doorstep. So let's get started. The Westin ProTraXX 4 oval sidebars come with all the hardware that you need for a relatively easy and fast installation. When you're unpackaging everything, do just pay attention to which of the bars is the driver side and passenger side though, because it's only marked on the bag itself. So really important to make note of that because you don't want to install them backwards. It comes with the brackets, the hardware, and bracket covers to make the whole installation look clean. Westin did a really nice job with the way that they designed this kit. On the brackets themselves, they've actually labeled them all with two initials, essentially PFPC and PR are passenger front, center, and rear. And the same on the other three brackets, it's DFDC and DR for drivers front, center, and rear. So really, really easy to know which bracket goes in which place. Now, they also have three different types of hardware. So this is the M8 bolt, which is gonna get a cut washer and a flat washer. And this is the bolt and washer combination you're gonna use to mount the bracket to the frame of the car. Your second hardware is the black M10 6mm bolt, which has a locking washer and a flat washer on it. That's going to be what you use to mount the bar to the bracket cradle. And then the last bit of hardware is going to be your M6, the smaller of the zinc plated bolts, which has a cut washer, two flat washers and a nylon lock bolt. And that's what you're going to use to fasten the Westin bracket cover over the bracket, which just makes the end of the install look nice and clean. Now, it's a relatively simple set of tools needed for the installation. You're gonna need a flathead screwdriver, a ratchet extension for one or two of them, and then a 10mm and a 13mm socket, as well as a 6mm hex Allen wrench and a little bit of grease. Luckily, Toyota provides factory mounting points, so the first step in the process is to pull out the little plastic plugs with our flathead screwdriver. All right, so just inside the underbody of the truck at the front, center, and middle, you're gonna be looking for these little black plastic plugs, and they're really, really easy to take out. Get your flathead screwdriver, just give them one or two turns, and then literally twist them out with your hand the rest of the way. Very, very simple. Get those out on the driver's and the passenger side. Okay, so staying here on the center bracket, the first thing we're gonna do is apply a little bit of grease to make sure that the bracket doesn't bond to the metal. I mean, this is the underside of the vehicle, right? So it's gonna be getting hit with water all the time, and if anything was gonna rust in here, this would be it. So we wanna put a little bit of grease in there and then grease the bolt as well. And the trick here, Westin designed this really nicely. Again, you can put your first bolt in at the back, and I've put a little bit of grease on that bolt as well, so just put that in first. And then you can have the second bolt in your hand while their bracket slides in over the first bolt, and then your second bolt goes in. And the key here is we're just gonna thread these in with our fingers. We're not gonna fully tighten these. Let's just get them in here so that the bracket is in place. And then once the other two brackets are in and our bar is in, then everything will get tightened up later once we align everything. You can see that the way they've designed the bracket has a little bit of play so that you can position it exactly the way that you want it. There we go. All right, we've got our brackets in and mounted, and now our next step is gonna be to just place our bracket covers right onto the bracket. Now we've got the front and the rear in already. There's just little tabs on the back that slides right over your bracket, and it'll just rest there until you're ready to put the bar on. Now you're ready to put the bar on. Now remember, use your driver's side bar because the hole placement and spacing is very different. Just grab the bar, feel for the holes underneath that would line up with the center bracket, and just lift it up and rest that in the cradles for a moment, and now it'll sit there until you put your bolts in. Okay, from this position, we're gonna place our bolts up into the Nerf bar through the bracket. And because we didn't fully tighten the bracket has a little bit of play. So we're just gonna thread this in. These are your M10 bolts with your 6mm hex head. We're gonna get these actually tightened down. And I highly recommend tightening these down in the middle position on the bracket, on all three of the brackets, so that the bar being tightened to the middle of the bracket like that essentially sort of forces the perfect alignment of the Nerf bar on the bracket in its cradle. And then you can just tighten down the brackets and they'll be all good to go. Give these a good snug down. And next, while we're under here, we're gonna pull the nylon nut and one of the washers off of our small M6 bolt, and then that's gonna go through the bracket cover. Now, the bracket cover is just a decorative thing, so we're lining it with the holes in the bracket with the bottom two on the bracket cover. So that's just gonna slide right through. Put the washer, one on each side, and then put your nylon lock nut directly on there, and then we'll come back and we'll tighten this all down when we come back and tighten everything. Okay, so with all of our bolts and brackets in, we found that the level of the step was sloping out a little bit. So we went back to the bottom of the bar, loosened those bolts, rotated it in the cradle, and then tightened that back down. Really happy with how it looks. Now we can fully snug everything all the way down, fully tightened. All right, everything is fully installed, tightened down, leveled out exactly the way we want it. It is rock solid and ready to go. All you need to do is repeat the process on the other side, making sure to obviously use the passenger side bar. And if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. We hope you found it helpful. And when you're ready to shop for your parts, make sure you go to motoroso.com/shop, where you can browse hundreds of thousands of the top name brand products sold by trusted vendors at great prices, and the shipping is always free. Thanks for watching.